Hang on.
Okay, good morning everyone. Let's continue with AS26 now. It's been long time since we last did AS26. So what I would recommend is that I'll revise the entire accounting standard 26 with you, whatever we have done. And then of course, I will first take your doubts. All your doubts we will resolve. And then we move to the next questions of accounting standard 26. Right. So the first question is, intangible assets is an identifiable non-monetary asset without physical substance, which is held for use for four things: one, production of goods; two, provision of services; three, rental to others; and four, administrative purposes. An asset can be considered to be separately identifiable only and only if it has an identity separate and distinct from other assets, which means it can be either sold, used, or rented out separately. Any intangible which does not satisfy the definition criteria of AS26 cannot be recognized as an intangible asset. This thing will straight away go to the profit and loss account because you cannot capitalize it as an intangible, so it will straight away go to the profit and loss account. Then it says intangible asset that cannot be recognized. So you have four intangible assets that are specifically excluded by AS26. The first one is self-generated goodwill. The second one is internally developed brand. Third is your market share, and the fourth one is your customer list. So this we have already discussed. Four things that are specifically excluded by AS26. The next four are also intangible assets, but they are covered by some other accounting standard. Now, because they are covered by some other accounting standard, AS26 really cannot interfere in that case. So, intangible assets outside the scope of AS26 are purchased goodwill, which is already covered by AS14, goodwill on consolidation, which is covered by AS21 and 23, VRS expenditure, which is covered by AS15, and initial direct cost for leases is covered by accounting standard 19. In simple words, AS26 does not apply to those intangibles which are covered by some other accounting standard. So as we have already understood that AS26 is a residuary accounting standard. What is a residuary accounting standard? It means if a concept is covered by some other accounting standard, then AS26 cannot interfere in that case. Only if any other accounting standard does not cover a particular aspect, then and only then AS26 will be applicable to that particular aspect. Right, then we had a very interesting uh, debate, or you can say a very interesting decision that the accounting standard board took, and that is the end of the deferred revenue expenditure concept. So according to AS26, deferred revenue expenditure concept does not satisfy the definition criteria of AS26, and that is why it cannot be separately identified. It cannot be treated as an intangible asset. No expense can be deferred unless it is allowed by some other accounting standard. So if any other accounting standard tells you to defer, you will defer. Otherwise, you cannot defer any other expenditure as per accounting standard 26. Then we did AS26 specifically excludes deferment of the following. So the following can never be deferred. The first one is preliminary expenses. So preliminary expenses you can never defer. Staff training cost you can never defer. Advertisement and sales promotion cost you cannot defer. And relocation and reorganization cost again you cannot defer. Right, so this was the basics of AS26 that we did. After that, we did accounting for intangibles. How will you do the accounting for any intangible asset? Now it says first, if you directly purchase an intangible asset, then you will take the purchase price paid. You will add to that the registration cost. You will add the legal cost, of course, non-refundable duties and taxes, and expenses to remove infringement relating to a lawsuit. You will get your total cost. We did one question based on this where we calculated the total cost. The note given below says that if you have any legal expense before putting the asset to use, then that expenditure is for obtaining the ownership. You will capitalize it. However, if any expenditure is incurred on legal expenses or legal cost after putting the asset to use, that means now you are incurring this to maintain the ownership. That will go to the profit and loss account. Right. Second point, if you do not have cash, so you tell someone that please give me intangible asset, I will give you shares of my company. That is known as by issue of securities. In that case, you will take fair market value of the securities issued. Similarly, if you obtain an intangible against some asset that you will be giving up, so in that case, the value of the intangible or the cost of the intangible will be fair market value of the asset given up. After that, we did question number 1 where we had 65 lakhs, 68,000, sorry, 65 lakh 65,800 as our value. Then we saw amortization of intangibles, again a very important and a very interesting concept. I told you, I gave you the case law that went to the accounting standard board, based on which they also made an amendment in amortization of intangibles. So we studied that an intangible asset should be written off over its useful life or legal life, whichever is shorter. I also explained the concept to you regarding regarding why to take useful life or legal life, whichever is shorter. So here, this is where we discussed it. Useful life or legal life, we'll always select whichever is shorter. However, AS26 makes a rebuttable presumption. Very interesting point. Rebuttable means it makes a challengeable presumption. So AS26 makes a challengeable presumption that the useful life of an intangible cannot exceed 10 years. However, if the enterprise can demonstrate by giving convincing evidence that amortization period of more than 10 years is justified, then definitely you can take that as your uh, useful life of the intangible. We also studied that in detail over here, where we understood the entire case study that happened, and based on this case study we had this new concept of rebuttable presumption. After that, we had the amortization method, which says the perform method to write off intangible assets is always in the ratio of future expected benefits. If that cannot be estimated reliably, we will use the straight line method. So, right, so we have already done that question. We did question number 2 based on rebuttable presumption. We also did question number 13, and then we did question number 12, which explains how to use the method for amortization, which is known as the ratio of future economic benefits. Right, this is all that we have done till now. Quickly, I'm giving you 5 minutes. Quickly check and put it on the chat box. Are you clear with this? With whatever I have revised, are you clear with this? If you have any doubts, please ask me. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Quickly check everything since it has been long time that we studied AS26. Almost after 5 days, you have the AS lecture today. So just ensure, because in AS26 everything is linked. So it is important that you understand everything clearly. So quickly check and put it on your chat box. If you have any doubts, please put it on the chat box. I will be solving it for you. Okay, I have two doubts. In fact, three. Let's solve them line by line and then we go to the next part of the standard. Okay. It says in question number 12, if we would have been given net profit and net operating cash flow, then in which ratio would we have amortized the intangible? So first thing, net profit will never be given to you in the question. It is in the ratio of sales. Look at this. Amortization is always in the ratio of future economic benefits, and future economic benefits is always calculated based on sales. Just give me a minute, I'll show that to you. So it is in the ratio of future economic benefits. Ratio of future economic benefits means sales. So if sales is given to you, then you will amortize on the ratio of sales. In one question, you cannot have both sales and net operating cash flow. You will have either of the two. So you will take two, which means in your question, if you have net profit and net operating cash flow, you will always take net operating cash flow. Right, Spruva? I hope that solves your doubt. After that, I have one more doubt, which says in question number 1, if entry tax is non-recoverable, then would we have added it? Of course, yes, Ishika, you will add that. So if it was not not a refundable tax and duty, of course, you will be adding it to the cost of the intangible. Right, Ishika, I hope that solves your doubt. I have one more doubt which says legal life means duration for which the license is issued. Is it correct? Yes, of course it is correct, Shifa. So duration means the legal life means the duration for which the license has been issued. Okay, if I have to answer your doubt, Ishika, I will just give me a moment. Entry tax. Okay, so after you add purchase tax, fifth, after purchase tax, you will be adding the entry tax. Right, Ishika? I hope that is clear that after purchase tax, you will be adding. Fine. Okay, I think that clears all the doubts as well. Let's now go to question number 8. So let's solve question number 8. Mark that important last revision question. Let's do question number 8. Good question to understand. Question 8, which is given to you on page number 179. Okay, let's understand the question. It says a company had deferred research and development cost of rupees 1,50,000. Sales expected in the subsequent year are as under. देखो आपको sales दिया हुआ है इस question में. For the first year, your sales was 400. For the second year, your sales is 300. For the third year, your sales is 200. And for the fourth year, your sales is 100. करना क्या है? You are asked to suggest how should research and development cost be charged to the profit and loss account. मतलब amortization की बात कर रहे हैं वो लोग. After amortization, next thing that they are asking you is, if at the end of the third year, please underline this in the question, if at the end of the third year it is felt that no further benefit will accrue in the fourth year, how will the unamortized expenditure would be dealt with in the accounts of the company, right? So एक ही क्वेश्चन में दो क्वेश्चन पूछे हैं. एक तो आप अमोर्टाइज कैसे करेंगे, दूसरा अगर थर्ड ईयर के बाद ये इंटेंजिबल यूजलेस हो जाती है तो सी पूरा अनअमोर्टाइज एक्सपेंस कैसे ट्रीट किया जाएगा, right? So let's solve this question. A good question to understand. Put your first statement. As per accounting standard 26, accounting for intangibles. Question number 8 on page number 179. Here you will have sales. You have only 4 years, so all this information will not be required. Again, value is in lakhs, so over here also rupees will be in lakhs. For the first year, you have 400, 300, 200, and 100. Let's calculate the amortization ratio. Your amortization ratio will be 300 by 1000. Similarly over here, 200 by 1000. And finally, 100 by 1000. Prepare a proper format. The first two columns, it relates to the information already given in the question. The remaining two, we will have to work out, of which amortization ratio I have already calculated. So please prepare this format properly, then we proceed with the next part. Okay, let's calculate. Can someone tell me on the chat box, what's your value of intangible in the question? On your chat box, value of intangible in the question. How much is the value of intangible in the question? 150 lakhs. Let's calculate the amortization. 150 into zero point 0.4. Calculate. Do you get 45, 30 and 15? Akshay, how do you get 60? From where did you get 60? It is 150 lakhs. Yes, of course, for the first year it will be 60. Right now, please remember one thing. Please remember one thing. In the basic 6th, 7th standard, we studied that percentage is always out of 100 and ratio is always out of 1. So percentage always out of 100, ratio always out of 1. Since we are calculating the amortization ratio, please remember your total has to be 1. That should never be a mistake. So even because of rounding off, please ensure you never end up making that mistake. Second important point, जितना आपका इंटेंजिबल का वैल्यू है एंड ऑफ द यूजफुल लाइफ वो पूरा अमोर्टाइज हो जाना चाहिए. मतलब आपका अमोर्टाइज्ड अमाउंट का टोटल भी कितना आना चाहिए? 150. Right, so these are your check points which will tell you whether your solution is correct or not. So you will get 150. Let's put one statement as per AS 26. Intangible assets and intangible shall be amortized in the ratio of future economic benefits. Right, are you done with this? Quickly on your chat box, are you done with this? Yes or no? If you're done with the first part, we move to part 2 of the question. Okay, great. If you're done with this, let's go to the next part. I'm again reading the question for you. Please pay attention. It says, if at the end of the third year, it is felt that no further benefit will accrue in the fourth year. मतलब अब हमें थर्ड ईयर खत्म हुआ तो पता चला कि अब ये इंटेंजिबल खत्म हो गया. अब चौथे साल में इसका कोई फायदा हमें नहीं मिलने वाला. No future economic benefit is going to arise out of this intangible. Question is, how will the unamortized expenditure be dealt with in the accounts of the company? Okay, so I am asking you this question. At the end of the third year, we came to know that now this intangible is not useful to us, will not have future economic benefits. Tell me, what should I do with the same? Everyone on your chat box, what should I do with the same? Please put it on the chat box. What should we do with the same? If at the end, okay, we will amortize the remaining amount in the third year. Okay, everyone is correct. We will amortize the remaining amount in the third year. Can someone put on the chat box how much amount should I amortize at the end of the third year? What is the total amount that I must amortize at the end of the third year? Okay, excellent. Everyone agrees 45 lakhs. कैसे है 45 lakhs? ये 30 तो आपको amortize करना ही है क्योंकि third year खत्म हो गया. Plus fourth year का 15 भी we will amortize at the end of the third year itself. So everyone is absolutely correct. You will amortize the entire expenditure of 45 lakhs at the end of the third year. Right, let's put that statement. At the end of the third year, the circumstances do not justify that future economic benefits will accrue in the fourth year. Therefore, the company shall charge the unamortized amount rupees 45 lakhs. How did you get that? 30 plus 15 as an expense immediately to the profit and loss account. We will straight away charge it to the profit and loss account. Right, take this down properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Take it down properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Don't simply copy. You're not here to copy. Please ask me. If you don't understand, I'll explain to you. But please ensure that you are thoroughly clear with this concept. And then we can proceed to question number 9, which is also a very good question to understand. Take it down properly. Once you're done copying, please put it on the chat box that you're done so that we can proceed. If you have any doubts, please ask me and I will be solving it for you. Okay, perfect. If you're done with this and if there are no doubts, let's go to the next question. Question number 9. Come to question number 9. Also mark this important last day revision question. Mark this question as important last day revision question, question number 9. Let's understand the question carefully. It says, an enterprise acquired a patent right for rupees 400 lakhs. The product life cycle has been estimated to be 5 years, and the amortization was decided in the ratio of estimated future cash flows, right? So see, I guess it was Shifa's doubt. Nowhere they are talking about profit. They only talk about cash flows or either sales, right? Was decided in the ratio of estimated future cash flows, which is as under. So you have estimated future cash flows as 200, 200, 200, 100, 100. Ab dhyan dena. After the third year, okay, everyone on your chat box, before I proceed, tell me, after the third year, how many years are left in the useful life of this asset? After third year, कितने साल बाकी हो? 2 साल. Okay, very good. ध्यान देना आप. After the third year, it was ascertained that the patent would have an estimated balance future life of 3 years. मतलब 2 साल से लाइफ बढ़ के अब 3 साल हो गई. मतलब useful life of the asset has increased. And the estimated cash flow after the 5th year is expected to be rupees 50 lakhs. करना क्या है? Determine the amortization as per accounting standard 26. So for the first time you have increase in value of the useful life of the intangible, and that increase by 1 year is happening at the end of the third year. Right, put your first statement. Very good question to understand. Put your first statement as per accounting standard 26, amortization of intangible. Prepare this format properly. We are doing question number 9, which is on page number 180. For the first year you have 200, for the second year you have 200, for the third year you have 200. We will need one blank space after that. Are you ready with the format? Are you ready with the format? Yes or no? Okay, let's begin. Ab dhyan dena. Again, let me solve this question. Do not copy. Understand how am I solving it, and then I'll give you sufficient time to copy. So please focus on the solution. See what I am doing, understand it carefully, and then I'll give you time to copy. My question to you is, please say yes or no. My question to you is, did we know at the end of the first year that useful life will be 6 years, means one more year will be added? Yes or no? क्या हमको पता था at the end of the first year that useful life will increase by one more year? Of course we did not know about it. Akshay, we did not know. हमको थर्ड ईयर के बाद पता चला, right? So at the end of the first year we will calculate as if we have only 5 years. So let's calculate the amortization ratio. 200 divided by 800, you get how much? 0.25. Again, let's take it for the second year. You have 200 divided by 800. Again, you have 200 divided by 800. कितना है आपका? 0.25 for the first 3 years. Let's not calculate for the fourth year, क्योंकि fourth year के बाद तो हमको पता चला कि हमारा amortization ratio change होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि year number 6 भी add हुआ. Are you getting it? Okay. Now, can you tell me on the chat box, what is the value of your intangible asset? On your chat box, what is the value of your intangible asset? 400 lakhs. Let's calculate the amortization for the first 3 years. So 400 into 0.25, you get 100. You get 100 for the first 3 years. Okay, come to the next one. अब ध्यान देना. After the end of the third year, we came to know कि एक और साल add हो गया और अब हमारी total life 5 नहीं 6 years होगी. और 6th year का future economic net cash flows कितना है? 50. Okay, now please pay attention. My question to you is, have we already amortized the first 3 years? Yes or no? Have we amortized the first 3 years? Yes or no? Yes, of course. When we were amortizing the first 3 years, did we know during the first 3 years, did we know that the useful life will increase by 1 year? During the 3 years, no. You came to know about it at the end of the third year. So at the end of the third year, let's also calculate the total value of the intangible based on these things. So tell me, for the fourth year, fifth year, and the sixth year, how much do you have as your value now? You get 250. Everyone gets 250. Yes or no? You get 250. 100 plus 100 plus 50. कितना आया आपका? 250 आया. So I'm putting a slash and writing 250 over there. Let's now calculate the amortization ratio. Again, you have 100 divided by 250. You get 0.4. Again, you have 100 divided by 250. You get 0.4. And finally, you have 50 divided by 250. You get 0.2. Now, in this unique situation, you will not have 1. So I'm removing that. You will not have 1 over here. Okay, if you're clear with this, can someone tell me on the chat box, after the end of the third year, when we came to know that the useful life has increased by 1 year, what was my unamortized value of the intangible? Can someone tell me that unamortized value of the intangible? 100 lakhs. देखिए 400 में से 300 तो हमने ऑलरेडी अमोर्टाइज कर दिया. अब अमोर्टाइज करने के लिए कितना बाकी है? 100. So let's amortize that 100 over these 3 years. So you will have 100 into 0.4, 100 into 0.4 and 100 into 0.2. This has to match with your answer. This 400 and the value of your intangible 400 should match. Are you clear with this? These three parts are your revised amortization ratio. These three parts are your revised amortization ratio. Right, I'm repeating it once again for you. We began this question. This, in fact, is estimated future cash flows. Okay, I'm repeating it for you. First, you had the information for 5 years. At the end of the third year, you came to know that one more year will be added. So for the first 3 years, we had 200, 200, 200. We found out the amortization ratio based on 800. We calculated. At the end of the third year, we decided that one more life will be added. One more year to the useful life will be added. So then I put a segregating point over there. And then you have 100, 100 and 50. So the remaining balance, आपका 400 lakhs is the value of your intangible. 300 तो आपने पहले 3 साल में already amortize कर दिया. बचा 100. 100 will be amortized over the revised amortization ratio. And this is the point where you came to know that your intangible. This is the point where you came to know that the intangible's useful life has increased. So I'm putting a segregating mark over there. Right, I hope Akshay that solves your doubt. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Please put it on your chat box. Is that clear to everyone? If this is clear to you, please take it down properly. Take it down properly so that we can move to the next part of the accounting standard. Please take it down properly. Once you're done solving or copying this, please put it on the chat box that you're done. Please put it on the chat box that you're done once you're done copying this solution. Okay, I have one doubt which says if in the question instead of after third year, it is given as it is at the end of the third year, then we would have amortized the remaining in 4 years. I really didn't understand your question. Let me read it again. It says if in the question instead of after third year, it is given at the end of the third year. So Ishika, I believe after third year and at the end of the third year means the same. So I don't think that your solution will change. Your solution will remain the same. It is not, you need not amortize it, the remaining in the fourth year. After the end of the third year and end of the third year will always mean the same. Right? So I hope Ishika that solves your doubt. Akshay, you will take 800 because for the first 3 years you did not know that the value is going to increase. You came to know about that only at the end of the third year. So for the first 3 years, you will divide by 800. That is the total value of the future estimated cash flows. Right. I hope Ishika and Akshay that solves your doubt. If you have any further doubts, please put it on the chat box. I will be solving that. Fine. Let's proceed to another question. Now, since we have done these two questions already, solving that question will not be a problem for you. Let's do question number 17 on page 187. Come to page number 187. Question 17. Okay, before that, I have one more doubt which says if at the end of fifth year we would have come to know that we will receive the future economic benefit in the sixth year also. So after the fifth year, you will increase and you will amortize the entire amount. So, say for example, in this question, at the end of the fifth year, if you come to know, so entire 50 lakhs will go to the profit and loss account. Fifth year में पूरा 50 lakhs will go to the profit and loss account. Right? I hope Spruha that solves your doubt. Okay, question number 17. It says Swift Limited acquired a patent at a cost of rupees 80 lakhs for a period of 5 years. And the product life cycle is also 5 years. So useful life, legal life, दोनों same है. The company capitalized the cost and started amortizing the asset at 10 lakhs per annum. After 2 years, it was found that the product life cycle may continue for another 5 years. From then, the net cash flows from the product during these 5 years was expected to be 36 lakhs, 46 lakhs, 44 lakhs, 40 lakhs, and 34 lakhs. करना क्या है? Find out the amortization cost of the patent for each year. So put your first statement. As per accounting standard 26, accounting for intangible assets. Put your first statement. Question 17 on page number 187. Let's read the question and understand. It says our patent cost was 80 lakhs, so the value of the intangible is 80 lakhs. The company capitalized the cost and started amortizing at 10 lakhs per annum. देखो आपको पहले 2 साल का तो amortization amount सीधा सीधा दिया हुआ है. So let's put that over here. 10 lakhs for year 1, year 2. No need to find out the estimated values for the first 2 years. Even there is no need to calculate the amortization ratio for the first 2 years. Then you have the next 5 years. So year 3, 4, your estimated future cash flows have been given as 36 lakhs. Then you have 46 lakhs, 44 lakhs, 40 lakhs, and 34 lakhs. Take your total. You get 2 crores. Let's put the amortization ratio. For the second year, we will have the same calculation. Be careful, your total value of the ratio has to be 1, because ratio is always out of 1. So always cross check. This will help you avoid silly mistakes. Okay, before you start solving or you copy the solution, help me out with one value. Let me solve it first. I will give you time to copy. My question to you is, at the end of the second year, what is the value of unamortized intangible asset? On your chat box, everyone, what is your value of unamortized intangible asset at the end of the second year? Everyone gets 60 lakhs. So let me put over here 80 lakhs minus 20 lakhs. You get 60 lakhs. So let's put that 60 lakhs into 0.18. You get 10 lakh 80,000. For the next year, you get 13 lakh 80,000, 13 lakh 20,000, 12 lakhs, and 10 lakh 20,000. See, again, your value will match to 80 lakhs. Right. Always cross check. You have a good opportunity in this question to cross check. So always cross check that this 80 lakh should match. This time rupees is not in lakhs, so simply put it as rupees. Take this down properly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Copy it down properly. Copy it down properly. If you have any doubts, please post it on the chat box. Once you're done copying, please also mention that you're done so that we can move to the next part. Okay, are you all done with this? Yes or no? Please check if you have any doubts. If there are any doubts, I'll solve them first. Do you have any doubts? Fine, I guess we are done. Okay. Now let's do one more thing. Let me just check that. Just hold on for a minute. Okay, let's solve one more question. Just hold on for a minute. I'll give you that question as well. Okay, now please understand this. We are looking at paper number 5 since this is an accounting standard of part 2, which is paper number 5, RTP. Can you see this May 2020 attempt? So the May 2020 attempt was scheduled at May, but due to the problem that we all are facing, this has now been postponed to July. उस attempt का RTP देखते हैं. And let's see if we can solve the question given over there. Okay, I have one question of AS26 in this. Let me quickly have a look at that. Okay, here it is. Question number 19. Right, I hope you all can see this question number 19. Yes or no? Quickly on the chat box. Question number 19. जो attempt अभी होने वाला है जुलाई 2020 का, उस attempt का RTP question है. देखो हम solve कर पाते हैं या नहीं. ध्यान देना. It says a company acquired a patent right for 1200 lakhs. The product life cycle has been estimated to be 5 years. And the amortization was decided in the ratio of future economic benefits, means estimated future cash flows, which are as under. For the first year 600, for the second year 600, for the third year 600, for the fourth year 300, for the fifth year 300. After third year, it was as certain that the patent would have an estimated balance life of 3 years, and the estimated cash flow after fifth year is expected to be 150 lakhs. You are required to determine the amortization pattern as per accounting standard 26, right? A question that we have already covered today. Same question has been asked in the RTP. So you will have similar type of questions in the exam, the ones that we are covering in the class. Okay, now since I have already taught this to you, I would request someone to solve this for me. So let me see who can solve that. Manav, can you solve it for us? Manav, quickly put it on the chat box. Can you solve this question for us? Yes or no? Okay. Fine then. Manav, here you go. Let's begin.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Go ahead.
Put the first statement as per accounting standard 26, intangible assets.
Okay, just give me a minute. We can use this format. So we are doing RTP question. May 2020. Okay. As per AS26, account intangible assets, amortization of intangibles. Okay, what after that?
Prepare the format.
Okay, look at the solution. Look at the question first. You need 5 years, but at the end of the third year, you came to know the balance life is 3 years. Okay, so this format will work perfectly. Fine. Our format is also ready. What next?
Estimated future cash flow में first 3 year में 600
Okay, so I'll put
600
that
lakhs.
600. What about this?
Fourth year में
300.
sir please show yes 300. Fifth year में भी 300.
Okay.
Then total is total is 2400. then amortization ratio is first 3 year is a 0.25.
How do you get 0.25?
600 divided by 2400.
Okay, perfect. Then
And then amortization amortized amount में फर्स्ट 3 year में 450.
okay, can you help me out? How did you get 450?
600 into 0.25.
Please think and tell me. I'm again opening the question for you. 600 क्यों लिया आपने? आपके intangible का value कितना? आप कर क्या रहे हो इस question में? What are you doing? You're amortizing the intangible, right?
हाँ.
तो आपका intangible का value कितना है question में?
1200.
1200. So you will take over here 1200. You agree with me?
Yes sir.
Are you sure?
Wait sir, 2 minutes. Yes sir.
Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
What about year number 2 and year number 3?
Also same.
The value will be the same over there, which is 300, right?
Yes.
So let's put over there 300. Okay. What will happen at the end of the third year? What happened?
6th year will be added.
Okay, we came to know कि बच्चे तो 2 साल है, लेकिन हमारा इंटेंजिबल अब 3 साल तक चलेगा, तो 6th ईयर ऐड हो गया. 6th ईयर
Yes.
का वैल्यू कितना है? एस्टिमेटेड फ्यूचर कैश फ्लोज कितने हैं 6th ईयर के?
150 lakhs.
150. Okay, so I'm taking over here 150. Fine. So since it is 150, what's your now the new total that you will have?
750.
Very good, 750. Okay. Revised amortization ratio कैसे निकालेंगे आप?
300 divided by 750.
Okay, very good. Same for the second year.
0.4. Yes.
And for the third year you have
0.2.
0.2. Okay, ये वैल्यू बताइए, इधर कैसे कैलकुलेशन होगा?
300 into 0.4.
Okay, सबसे पहले बताइए 300 कैसे आया आपका?
हमारा जो इंटेंजिबल असेट्स का जो लाइफ था वो 1200 था, और हमने
लाइफ नहीं, वैल्यू.
और हमने वैल्यू वैल्यू
Okay.
1200 था, और तो हमने 900 पहले से अमोर्टाइज कर दिया है.
वेरी गुड. तो बचा कितना? 300. Okay,
300.
excellent. 300 into 0.4.
0.4.
You get how much? 120?
Yes.
Okay. What about the next one?
120.
120. Okay. What about the third one?
60.
You have 300 into 0.2. Okay, 60. ये अमाउंट किस 1200 जो मैच होना चाहिए वो हो रहा है?
हाँ सर, हो रहा है.
So 1200 rupees, 1200 lakhs matches completely with the value of the intangible, which means your solution is absolutely correct. Right? Now please understand one more thing. If you look at this question, somewhere or the other your values are matching. देखो, आपका amortization ratio, I want everyone to pay attention to this. आपका amortization ratio जो हमारे class work की question में है, वही RTP question में आ रहा है. Are you getting it? Second important point, उन्होंने सारी वैल्यूज को 3 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. देखो, इधर 200 है, इधर कितना है 600, इधर कितना है 100, वहां कितना है 300, यहाँ कितना है 50, और यहाँ पे कितना है 150. So all your values are matching. Similarly, our answer will also be multiplied by 300. You get 100, 300 over here. Over here you have 40, you get 120, and finally you have 20 and you get 60. Are you getting it? Right. So please understand the type of question that we have done. Same kind of question has been asked in your RTP as well. Right? Thank you so much, Manav.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely simple question. Exactly same question that has been asked to you, that we have done in the class, has been asked to you in the RTP. Right? So that is why I'm emphasizing that please do this material thoroughly. Do practice all the questions. You will have exactly similar questions in the exam, and these are really cash marks. You cannot allow them to go. Right? So what we will quickly do is quickly copy this solution and put it on the chat box that you're done. And then we again look at one more question, and then I think we are done for today, because you have another lecture lined up as well. So I will leave you on time at 9:30. However, quickly copy this down. Once you're done copying this down, please put it on the chat box so that we go to the next part. Okay, fine. So quickly on the chat box. Are you all clear with whatever we have done? Quickly on the chat box, yes or no? Right, everyone. Akshay, Aman, Aksa, Bhavin, Deep, Dipesh. Are you all clear with whatever we have done? Dhara, Digesh, Tulsi, Harshit, Ishika, Ishita, Jalpan, Kajal, Khushi, Manav, Mukaddisha, Om, Pawan, Pushti, Raghav, Raj, Riya, Rizwan, Rohan, Sami, Shifa, Shreyas, Shruti, Simran, Spruha, Shrushti, and Yash. Are you all clear with this? Okay, excellent. Let's go to one more question. Now, this question, please understand. Please clearly understand what I'm trying to say. This is not a question of accounting standard 26. I will show you one question and you will tell me whether have we done this kind of a question earlier or not. Right, let's see if you remember this question or not. So you have mock test papers which the institute has started. I think they started only 5-6 days back. So mock test paper series 1 for your July examination. This is a new addition to your website. Now please see what they've given. We are intermediate course new scheme. Only one test has been complete. Only two tests have been taken. Mock मतलब अभी भी mock test papers चल रहे हैं. शायद आज पेपर नंबर 3 का mock test paper होगा. However, paper number 1 का हो गया. So let's see what kind of questions have been asked in this mock test paper and see if we can solve any of them. Okay. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखो, मैंने नहीं पूछा है, इंस्टीट्यूट ने पूछा है मॉक टेस्ट पेपर अपने मॉक टेस्ट पेपर में, और वो भी रीसेंट मॉक टेस्ट पेपर जो अभी इंटरमीडिएट की एग्जाम होने वाली है उसमें. इट सेज क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 5 मार्क के लिए. स्टेट वेदर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू और फॉल्स, आल्सो गिव रीजन फॉर योर आंसर. अब देखो हम ये सॉल्व कर पाते हैं. क्विकली एवरीवन यू विल रिप्लाई ऑन द चैट बॉक्स. It says certain fundamental accounting assumptions underline the preparation and presentation of financial statements. They are usually not specifically stated because their acceptance and use are assumed. Put it on the chat box. True or false? Quickly on the chat box. True or false? Of course, it is true. They are talking about fundamental accounting assumptions. So fundamental accounting assumptions are always assumed. Their use is already assumed. Because it is assumed, no need to specifically mention that. Okay, excellent. Chalo, second question. If fundamental accounting assumptions are not followed in the preparation and presentation of financial statements, a specific disclosure is not required. Quickly on the chat box. True or false? Quickly put it on the chat box. True or false? Of course, false. Okay, come to the third one. देखो third में क्या दिया हुआ है? All significant accounting policies adopted in the preparation and presentation of financial statements should not form part of financial statements. True or false? Everyone on your chat box. Of course, it is false. Perfect. Chalo. Come to the fourth one. ध्यान देना. Any change in accounting policy which has a material effect should be disclosed. Where the amount by which the item in the financial statements is affected by such change is not ascertainable, मतलब amount not ascertainable की बात कर रहे हैं. The fact needs to be indicated. Tell me, true or false? Everyone on your chat box, true or false? Of course, it is true. Okay, come to the next one. There is a single list of accounting policies which is applicable to all circumstances. True or false? Is there a single list of accounting policy? Of course not. Because there is not a single list, इसलिए तो उन्होंने AS1 बनाया कि हम लोग accounting policies को reduce कर सके, but we could not come down to one accounting policy. इसलिए तो हमें AS1 बनाना पड़ा. So of course this is false. Now you see, if you understand accounting standards, this is how good you can be with scoring 5 marks. Cash 5 marks का question पूछा है इन्होंने. Okay, let's come to another question. Quickly look at question number C, 1C. और मुझे बताइए ऐसा क्वेश्चन किया है हमने. Viva Limited received a specific grant of 30 lakhs for acquiring a plant of 150 lakhs during 16-17 and has a useful life of 10 years. The grant was received. बताइए quickly everyone on the chat box. Do you remember, have we done this kind of a question? किया या नहीं? Okay, we have solved this question. Now please understand, ये mock test paper से पहले हमारा AS12 खत्म हो गया था. जो क्वेश्चन हमने किया है सेम क्वेश्चन आपको मॉक टेस्ट पेपर में पूछा है, which means our study material does cover a lot of aspects. So please don't use shortcuts. Study that material thoroughly and carefully. Ensure that you don't make those silly errors by avoiding important questions. Right? We have marked this question important. If you remember, This question is important last day revision question. So, and the same has been asked in the exam as well. Okay, question number 1B we will do later since I don't think I have much time. Let's quickly have a look at the question paper. Question number 1D is AS10. We will do that after we have finished doing AS10. Let's come to the last question. देखो last question में क्या पूछा है. Question number 6A. देखो 6A, again exactly same question which is covered in the study material, but I am sure you will not be knowing this because this is a question of AS11. AS11 अभी हमारा solve करना बाकी है. But you do not know this or wala, but you do definitely know this or wala question. Omega Limited has a normal wastage of 4% in the production process. During the year, the company used 12,000 metric ton. किया है ऐसा question हमने? Quickly on the chat box, yes or no? Have we done this kind of a question? Yes, of course. Great. After that, I don't think you have any question on accounting standards. So in this mock test paper, let's understand, in this mock test paper, entire question number 1 is from accounting standards. तो उनको कितने marks का पूछा है उन्होंने? 20 marks का accounting standards. And they have one more question in question number 6, which is also I believe of 5 marks. Yes. So 25 marks के accounting standards उन्होंने पूछे हैं आपके मॉक टेस्ट पेपर में जो अभी एग्जाम होने वाली है जुलाई 2020 के मॉक टेस्ट पेपर. Are you getting it? Right. So this is how it is. This is how important accounting standards are. And please revise the study material that I am giving you. Please revise it on a regular basis. Otherwise, you will feel very bad when you will find same questions in the exam, but you are not able to solve it. Right. So don't do those silly errors. Be very careful and revise the entire accounting standard that we are doing. Right. So I think that much is sufficient for today. We will of course look at the next set of mock test papers as and when they come. You will have 2 series of mock test papers. This is just the series 1 which has just begun, but they are uploading it on real time. So we will be also solving it on real time. Fine. I think this much is sufficient for today. Thank you so much for attending. I will now see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and then we go to the next part, to the last part of AS26. Right? If you please do revise whatever we have done. If you have any doubts, please get back to me. Thank you so much for attending. I will now see you tomorrow. Thank you.